And then I sort of got it. I sort of got that it is the place of ultimate deepness, the place of the knowingness of the truth, the real truth of who we are, that is something that saves us. I did a teacher training for Access Yoga, and there was a woman there that worked with 7-year-olds that had mental, physical, emotional difficulties. And what she taught them, for me, felt, yeah, this is saving grace. She did. When they got difficult, she would say, I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm way cool, I'm calm, I'm peace. And I said, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Isn't that the saving grace of coming back to the truth of who we are? I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm peace. And she teaches the children that when they get into something that's difficult, to go to that place of deepness. My reading today is Don Miguel Ruiz and its prayers. I'm going to change it a little bit because he talks in the will, and we know that it is the now. I know that I deliver this message to my own mind, to the part of me that's always judging and abusing me. I deliver this message to the part of me that judges other humans. Beginning today, I free my mind from all the false messages I deliver to myself, to every human, to every life form. Today, I manifest my love, your love, Spirit's love, in every word that I express, in every action I take, so that everything I do becomes a ritual of love. I love Spirit within me so much that I can see Spirit everywhere. There is no way I can hide myself or be hidden from Spirit, because I will always find you. Beginning today, right now, I respect every creation and treat every creation the way I want to be treated. I see you, Spirit, in the eyes of all humanity, behind their masks, behind the images they pretend to be. I respect the life that manifests through me, so that every time I see myself in the mirror, I see the beauty of Spirit manifesting as me. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, for creating me so that I can perceive the beauty of your manifestation. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, Divine Spirit Consciousness, for giving me an emotional body so I can be in ecstasy just by feeling your presence. I know that you are my force, my creator. Together we can create the most beautiful dream, reality, choice of love and peace and joy. Together we create heaven on earth to the eternal happiness of humanity. That is the saving grace. That is the saving grace. There is a force of love moving through the universe that holds us fast and will never let us go. And so it is.
And so it is.
And now, a musical offering. heard this beautiful song.
I love you, man. In this very room, it's like, hard not to grab one of my props. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Certainly it's a wet morning. Good thing we need rain, and we know we need rain. Nobody's complaining about the rain. I'm not complaining about it. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Which is, okay, let it rain. Oh gosh, fill the reservoirs, fill them overflow, and let's just keep the prosperity coming. That's what's going on right now. The blessings of the universe are falling down upon us. Because guess what, people? Without water, we can't survive. So if we're having an abundance of water, we're having an abundance of life. It's a system. It's an indication of our innate prosperity. And so when you look out at the rain, and Piranjali, my wonderful wife, likes to walk in the rain, and I'm still getting used to that. But it is an activity of just surrendering to your divine bounty, that what we need to sustain ourselves on the planet literally falls from the sky. And that life began on the planet because some frozen mass of this exact same substance crashed into this burning mass of remnants of an exploding star, cooling it enough over billions of years in order for us to come here and be sustained by the life that grew here before we came. And so that same life-giving force actually made the planet what it is. And so whenever we're in the rain, whenever the water is falling down, it's completing the cycle of life that sometimes we're simply just not aware of, that, you know what, this is absolutely necessary for the sustenance of the human race. Meaning we didn't even exist if it didn't happen. This would be a completely different place. And yeah, that's elementary, Mulatto. But what I'm talking about is just being grateful for the rain. And I'm talking about being grateful for the rain because we're going to be doing a lot of gratitude conversations here today, if you don't mind. And so this is a opportunity to go into our favorite expression on Sunday morning, which is never doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed individuals can make a difference in the world. Indeed, that's all that ever has. Absolutely. I know it gets redundant, but guess what? Human beings learn by redundancy. You know, it's like you'll find yourself in a situation and all of a sudden it'll just come back to you like, wow, never doubt. And I'm like, why am I thinking that now? Well, maybe you're starting to have some doubts. So the truth that you've been affirming is coming back. And so, you know, this is Thanksgiving Sunday. And there's a lot of different information out on Thanksgiving on exactly what happened. And so I recognize that I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I do know that it's always a good time to give thanks. And so whatever happened historically, that doesn't mean that I stopped giving thanks. Whatever's going in the world right now doesn't mean I stop giving thanks. The scriptures say, pray without ceasing. And the only prayer that we can actually do without ceasing is the prayer of thanksgiving. Because we can be grateful, we can be thankful for all things. Are you with me so far on this? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Because the ability to be grateful is something that is always present. We don't always choose to be grateful. You know, sometimes, I've seen the times when I was grateful that I was ticked off, you know, I was happy about it, and I thought that's what empowered me, and as long as I could maintain my rage or my ferocity or my self-defense system, that means I'm just going to shut people out, then I would be safe and therefore I'd be right, and so the gratitude was misplaced. But you know what? Whatever you have to do to open your gratitude muscle, do that. And even if the gratitude is for something that might be antithetical to your growth in the moment, the fact that you're flexing your gratitude muscle means it's getting stronger. And that's what you want it to do. Is everybody with me so far on this? Okay, so that means people have things they can tell us that they're grateful for today. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, well, who would like to begin with what I'm grateful for today?
Grateful for the
Yeah,
rain.
grateful for the rain. Oh, that was easy. You just jumped in there. Yes, Betty.
Grateful for the new little dog that's come to live with me.
Oh, we must see pictures. I want to see the dog, actually. Yes.
Having this center to come to with like-minded people.
Thank you. Yes, Beth.
Grateful that I made it here in one piece.
Grateful. I made it in one piece. Absolutely. Yes.
Grateful for my health and my children.
Yes. My mom used to talk about how they had to do a blessing, had to do something grateful for every day, like either it might have been even at the dinner service. I know it might have been at church. And so they just got used to saying, I'm thankful for life, health, and strength. The movement, the movement of my limbs,
Mhm.
and a reasonable portion of a sane mind.
I have a triple, grateful for such a wonderful place to share my musical gifts.
Yes,
And my
thank you.
pictures,
Absolutely.
and for your message.
Thank you. Abundance overflows. I saw you over here, and then you, Matthew.
I'm grateful for my apartment.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. If I'm grateful I'm not, I have a shelter over my head, for sure. Yes, Matthew.
My grandmother used to say something each morning she got up that I thought, what is that old woman talking about? Now I say it myself. Thank God I got up this morning enclosed in my right mind.
Yes. What about the right mind?
Enclosed.
Enclosed in my right mind.
Enclosed in my right mind.
Yes, absolutely. That's that reasonable portion piece. Yes, absolutely. It's a blessing.
When you walk around or live in San Francisco, you see a lot of people who are not enclosed.
Well, I would just say they have a different expression of what their right mind is.
Go beyond that.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can't say that escaping reality is bad. I'm not going to say that. So I see people and they have their own reality and they're not trying to go anywhere else, but they're happy there. Not everybody, but I hear what you're saying. And so, okay, I'm going to get Ellen and then you.
I'm grateful.
Ellen.
Well, I'm always grateful to have this center to come to, and this week I'm grateful to have my new car to come to.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Absolutely. Gratitude is just so, oh yes.
I'm grateful for planets surrounded and filled with light.
Planets
Surrounded?
and filled with
Filled
light.
with light.
Absolutely. Just go cosmic on it. I'm just grateful for the light, you know. Let's not get it twisted. The light is important. So let's just be grateful for that. Anybody else? I don't want to lose anybody out. Okay? All right. And let me say this, people. Always take the opportunity to express gratitude. Never turn gratitude down. Because every time we turn gratitude down, we actually shrink the aperture of our awareness of what we have to be grateful for. And the less we have to be grateful for in our own mind, the less gratitude we express. And there's something about, and I talk about it all the time, the law of buoyancy. And I keep talking about how I'm going to have the scientific formula for this, but I understand what buoyancy is, and you understand what buoyancy is. We know that buoyancy is the ability to stay afloat in water, yes?
Yes.
And so prayer, thanksgiving, gives us a spiritual buoyancy so that when hard times come, when difficult times come, when circumstances that are less than what we would desire become part of our expression, then we have something to keep us afloat because we've been given thanks so much that even in the midst of that circumstance, we can give thanks. You know, there was I'm a storyteller, that's just what I do, and there's a story about a monk that was being pursued by a tiger. And the monk was running for his life, which anybody would do, being pursued by a tiger, unless you've decided to become a snack. And so the monk chases the tiger chases the monk over the edge of a cliff. Are you with me on this so far? So as a monk, he's like, I got to get away from the tiger. Whatever happens when I jump off the cliff, I'll deal with that. So he jumps off the cliff, and sure enough, there's a branch there. He grabs the branch, and he's holding on for dear life. And he's like, wow, okay. And the tiger's like right on top trying to get at him. You know, he can't reach him. So now he figures, okay, I'm going to get down from him. And he looks down, and my God, there's a tiger at the bottom where he would have to jump, just pacing, looking up at him like, yeah, I can't wait for you to let go of that branch. Because you might not be a snack for him, but you'll be one for me. And the monk got still, and he looked to his left. I said he looked to his left, and I looked to my right this way. He looked to his left, and this way, he looked this way. And he sees a strawberry vine with a very ripe strawberry. And he plucks the strawberry while he's holding onto the vine. Tiger's threatening from above, tiger's threatening from below. He plucks the strawberry, he places it in his mouth, he bites into it slowly and chews it, and he says, how delicious, how delicious. Gratitude is living in the moment and not concerned about what's coming. There's a Bible scripture that says 1,000 fell on my left and 10,000 fell on my right, but no harm became me. This is a critical thing to understand when we start talking about buoyancy. There's an old jazz song, somebody gave me this jazz song because I was actually in a house that got raided, and they had warrants for everybody's arrest but me, you know. It was like, so they sent me this old song about how, there's actually a song about that in the back of the day about how everybody went to jail but her, the woman is singing. And so all I'm saying is you can live a life that is so prayed up, as they say in the old church, that things that are happening to other people are happening around you but not to you, because you recognize the blessing of God wherever you are, because you're used to giving thanks for everything that exists. And as you give thanks for everything that exists and you recognize the presence of God in all activity and all affair, what begins to happen is you don't see yourself separate from the activity around you that's causing everyone else and possibly even you to fear. And when you stop seeing the separation in life, you allow the law of buoyancy to take place, because in order for you to swim, in order for you to stay afloat, you cannot see yourself separate from the water. I mean, we would all agree that you must at least realize, when I get in this water, I'm part of the process. I'm not something different happening in this water, because the moment you begin to lose sight of the fact that you're one with the water, you begin to sink. But when you can accept the fact, and that's the first thing they teach you, is to float. And what do you have to do to float? Relax. Stop resisting. I can't tell that. Stop resisting. Don't fight it. Okay? Just let life happen and recognize that as life is happening, it's happening through me, but not to me. Life is happening through me, but not to me. What does that mean? Life happening to me means there's an outside force, there's an external reality that I have no control over that's doing stuff, and sometimes the stuff that it's doing is harmful to me, and I have no recourse. I'm a victim. I'm a perpetual victim. I'm storm-tossed on the high seas of life, and whatever life dishes to me, whatever life gives to me, I just have to deal with it, because it's a hostile universe. But when we talk about life living itself through us, it means that I am allowing myself to be a portal through which and by which the expression of the universe, the expression of the divine, the expression of reality is happening through me. I'm not fighting it. I'm surrendering to it. And as a matter of fact, I'm not just surrendering, because the idea of surrender, it seems like it means we're giving up. And that's not what I'm talking about. You know, when the Japanese surrendered at, where were they? That's when they surrendered. My history is not that good. Wherever they were. When they surrendered, it wasn't the thing that they were giving up. They were giving the authority over that particular aspect of their nation. We're giving our authority over to something else, someone else. Surrender means we give our authority away, which can be a good thing if we're giving it to a higher purpose. And so, this idea about surrendering to the activity of God is not about giving up. It's about recognizing that as I give my authority over to the divine, as I rest and abide in that idea of a divine authority that is actually happening through me. That is, I'm the projection through which and by which the reality of the world is actually happening. And this is why we say my consciousness makes a difference. Because the clearer I have the lens of my own reality, the clearer I have the understanding of my own truth, the clearer I can see the presence of God in all things. And as I can see the presence of God in all things, it allows me to relax into it. And this is the word that's been fishing in my head here. I get to participate in the universe. Participation is required, people. Life is not a spectator sport. And if you've decided to not participate, then it just means that you have consequences of not participating, because the act of not participation is a means to participate. It's like if you jump into the ocean and you decide not to participate, you can't be surprised at what happens once you're in the water. But when you decide that I'm going to participate with the universe, because I know that the universe has my back, that there's something called grace, and we're talking about grace here today, and grace is the unmerited favor of God. Grace means that there's something good happening in my life and I don't have to do anything to make it good. Grace simply means that there's something wonderful that exists. And when we say there's an expression that goes there but by the grace of God. And so this idea that, you know, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I might be in this particular condition. If it wasn't for the grace of God, I might be in another condition. It's kind of a way, it's a subtle form of separation, because I'm acknowledging that there's something called grace. I'm acknowledging that there's an unmerited favor, but I'm saying, that person over there obviously doesn't have it, otherwise they wouldn't be in the condition they're in, and it's a good thing I know about it, or I'd be in the same position as that poor wretch over there. And so we have a subtle separation here. And what we want to shift into is the realization that it's more of a there by the grace of God. Not there except for the grace of God go I, but there by the grace of God go I. Pure Angelie has a very consistent practice of giving to people that appear to be homeless. Okay? It's something that she does all of the time. And one of the things she explained to me when we first got together is she says, that could be one of my children just as easy as it is that person. It could be me if I didn't have made different choices in my life. And so she sees herself as one with the universe in such a fashion that as she's given, she's not given from an outside source. She's given from the source of oneness, the source of wholeness, that is the support structure for all of reality. And she sees, I've seen her take families, take them to the hotel, buy them dinner, and take them to the hotel. Here's 3 nights stay. You can stay here. You're going to be out of the way, especially if she catches somebody with children or something like that. And it's just an activity of the recognition that I am one with all of life. There, by the grace of God, go I, because I'm one with all reality. And so once I'm one with all reality, I stop resisting the idea that there's something out there that can harm me. This is critical. Right now, I talked about it last week, we have an election every 4 years. And every 4 years, there's some group that says, oh God, ain't it awful? Oh God, ain't it awful? And the divisions widen and the entrenchment goes deeper. And what we get to do as beings that recognize God is all there is, what we get to do is recognize that, God's not picking a horse in the race. As a matter of fact, God doesn't even see it as a race. God just sees the consciousness of humanity evolving in the best way it knows right now. There's a line in the 23rd Psalm that says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And the reason why that works so well is because there's no evil that's separate from who we are. And the reason I can fear no evil, and this is something I practice on the street. You can practice it yourself. You find yourself in the worst situation you can think of, and just keep your heart space open. Do you know what I mean when I say keep your heart space open? I mean, be a loving presence wherever you go. I get this image of Superman would go into the phone booth and tear off his shirt, right? And then a big S would be right there. It's Superman. But I actually have another image of myself and I'm literally pulling my heart open to the fullest aperture of its own understanding, that I can pull it all the way open so that I can remember I have an open heart, I have a loving heart, I'm a loving presence, I'm the loving presence in this circumstance, and I'm not being threatened by anything that's happening around me. And it doesn't matter how many black men are getting shot down by the police. It doesn't matter that the KKK has now come out with a president supporting the president. It doesn't matter that more hate crimes are coming up. All these things don't matter, because they matter on the sense of the human level. I'm separate from the oneness of God. They matter there. And I'm not saying that we don't do things to handle the physical aspect of reality. But what I am saying is there's no external circumstance that can have power over me. And the reason I can say that with absolute certainty is because I'm absolutely certain that there's no external circumstance. And so there being no external circumstance means I'm one with all of creation and one with all of reality. And what I get to do now is open my heart and breathe deeper than perhaps I've ever done before, to include more things than I've ever done before. And that's a great opportunity for me. That's a great opportunity for us, because see, people in this room, people who are sitting here and listening to this right now, you're listening to your own self reverberate back what you already know. This is not something that you don't already know. This is something that's entrenched in you, and it's like, look, you need to hear this right now. And so they grabbed this guy named Mwati, they stood him up here and they said, you say it. It's just in the room. You say it. It's you, people. It's you. This is how powerful you are. You actually gathered everybody in this room together to help you understand the complexity, which is really a simplexity of your own beingness, that says God is all there is, and that consciousness is all the grace that I need. Because that unmerited favor just means that the universe is unfolding as it should it just continues to create, but the ultimate grace is the realization that I am one with this creative power, one with this creative idea, one with this creative expression, and as I direct myself, I summon the creativity of the universe, the creativity of God, all substance of all being aware, and I focus it in such a fashion that I begin to become aware of that which I'm seeking before I'm aware that it's there. What I'm trying to say is that little riddle, that rhyme that Michael Beckwith has that says, when you see what you don't see more than what you do see, when you see what you don't see more than what you do see, people who know that say it together, what happens? Then you will see what you don't see, and you won't see what you do see. This is critical. People, we don't have eyes to see. We see because we have eyes. But we've got it backwards. We've got it twisted. We actually think the external reality is what's going on, and then we have this internal reality that's echoing or mirroring that. But in reality, the law of correspondence says, as above, so below. As within, so without. And it means whatever happening out here is already happening in here. And this is why people who don't even have eyes can see, because they can listen and pick it up. You understand what I'm saying? And you people that can't even see can read, because there's a tactile system now called Braille, and they can read because they're seeing with their fingers and not their eyes, because the ability to see is something that's already present in the human mind, and we keep coming up with different ways in order for us to do that. There's clairvoyance, people can be still and picture things in their mind that are real. And so what I'm talking about, people, there's a spiritual aspect to who you are and what you are that allows you to overcome, to supersede any circumstance in any situation, when you can accept that it is your consciousness that's making the difference. When I can accept the fact that it's what I think, as the Bible says, it's done unto you as you believe. And Shakespeare said it's your thinking that makes it so. Once I get that, once I know that, now I'm responsible. I've always been responsible for my thoughts and my words. But Dr. Holmes tells us that trained thought is stronger than untrained thought. Can we say that? Trained thought is stronger than untrained thought. And what that means is the more conscious I am, the more, I don't want to say the more power my word has, because the word always has the same power. But my awareness of the power that my word has can increase. And in that awareness that my word has power, it means that it allows me to see the results of my word faster, with more clarity and more precision. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the word has power because the word is speaking from the Spirit. And so nobody's word is more powerful than anybody else, and nobody has more grace than anybody else. But when we train ourselves to see the truth, and we train ourselves to see the truth by being grateful for life everywhere, that's the wholeness. See, in order to be grateful, I have to accept that I have something. That something's been given to me. And beyond the idea that something's been given to me, I have to accept that I'm part of the gift and part of being the giver. It's all tied into one. And people, this is such a powerful lifestyle. Man. To know the depth and the beauty of the presence of the divine in and through and as all creation, and identify ourselves, myself, yourself, as that idea is the most empowering thing we can do. It's the most wonderful gift we can give ourselves. And when we allow ourselves to walk and talk and live and breathe and have our being in that reality, it's like what Howard Thurman says, keep fresh before me my moments of high resolve. It's a long narrative, and I don't know the whole thing, and I don't want to read the whole thing. But he talks about, and you want to look up Howard Thurman. Howard Thurman is really appropriate right now, because that's who Dr. Martin Luther King used to go to for spiritual counseling, for spiritual advice. So he's like, his breath is deep. And he was right here in San Francisco. There's actually a church of his here in the city still. And so, keep fresh before me my moments of high resolve. And what he's saying is, there are times when I know the truth about myself with greater clarity and precision than others. Are you with me on that? Can we all agree that sometimes we know the truth better than others? Mm-hmm. And those are times we're usually happy, and the other time there's something different. He said, keep fresh. Let it stay fresh in my memory. Let it be something that I'm continuously aware of, as if it's something new, as if it's something vibrant and alive, my moments of high resolve, so that I can remain in that state when it seems like all hell is breaking loose against me. People, when it looks like things are falling apart, when it looks like things are falling apart, they're really falling together. They're really falling together. But what has to happen sometimes for things to fall together perfectly, what we have right now has to get blown up. because the current structure won't support the new reality that you're calling into yourself. And so you want to keep fresh before you your moments of high resolve when you absolutely knew the truth. I was doing a counseling session over the weekend with a woman who was dealing with some health issues and having to go into surgery, and I hear myself telling her, you want to find a happy place in your life right now. You want to go to your joy in your life right now. And I'm looking at wisdom right now, and I'm remembering, and I know that she's a mother. And so I just naturally I said, like when you first give birth to your child, and so it's coming out of me, I'm getting this feeling of angst, and I'm realizing that wasn't a happy experience for her. That's not a happy thought for her. Now you think, well, this would be a happy thing, but it's not always happy for her. Sometimes those circumstances are dire, and it's not something that you wanted to happen. And this is what she says. That's not a happy thought for me. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I got that. As soon as it came out, I'm like, God, I wish I could take that one back, right? So I'm being still. This is how you get in touch. You just be still and let it come to you, man. And it said, remember when you're in your 20s. Remember you're in your 20s, and she said, that was fun. That was fun. I had a good time. Life was certainly different then. I said, let that be your happy thought. Let that be the place you can go where you can remain buoyant. That's the thing that keeps you afloat. That's your life raft. That's your sense of buoyancy, that place where you know at some point you were happy about something. You didn't get to be as old as you are without having some joy somewhere about something. And if you're saying there's no joy in my life anywhere about any particular thing, it means you're not paying attention, because in the midst of all things, the presence of the divine is there. You just have to be still long enough to allow yourself to be overwhelmed by it. And when you allow yourself to be overwhelmed by it, that's how you breathe it into you, and you breathe it out, and you breathe it in, and you breathe it out, and you let yourself begin to participate with the reality of whatever is coming to you. People, this is a great time because we are called. There were two people that went out when Paul Revere, I'm not remembering the other person, but by the way, happened to be a brother. And so when they did the British are coming, okay? People, he's saying, to arms, the British are coming. But I'm just saying, to arms. And when I say arms, I'm not talking about weapons of mass destruction. I'm talking about a weapon of absolute confidence in the reality that God is all there is. I'm talking about it's time for us of consciousness to step up with the authority that says, I bring the peace wherever I go. I am the peace wherever I find myself. The love of God is flowing through me in such a fashion that nothing happening here is affecting my awareness. As a matter of fact, I am allowing the saturation of my own consciousness to flow from me in such a fashion that I am bringing peace. I am bringing joy. I am bringing prosperity. I am bringing the truth in all I think and all I say. And this circumstance is being influenced by me, and I don't have to do anything. I don't have to say anything. I'm willing to just sit and allow the presence of the divine to steep in me and through me and as me and affect the circumstance in which I find myself. This is the power that you have. This is the power that you are. This is what you cultivate and you craft when you give thanks for all things, all the time, everywhere, and begin to practice the idea that there's no separation in consciousness and there's no separation in my life. And that's, what do we call it? That's the saving grace that we have. It's not that there's some irredeemable place that we have it. It wasn't for this gift that God gives us. We would be worthless, what's that? Filthy rags, worthless sinners and all that stuff. No, it's the realization that there's one life, and that life is God. And that life is my life now. And that life is whole, perfect, and complete. And that I'm inseparable from all of reality, and therefore all of reality is responding to me. This is the saving grace. It's the awareness of our true divinity. And that awareness is always on hand, is always operational, is always waiting, standing on tiptoe. It's like the kid that wanted to get into the ballgame. Now, coach, can I play now? Can I play now? The universe is open and receptive to you right now. I'm grateful to be present. I'm grateful to share the gift. I'm grateful to be part of the loving expression called the San Francisco Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm so delighted that you braved the weather to come and share this experience.